self-improved and socialized for years, but still can't get a single date. What do I do now? People seem to think every guy who struggles with women is some fat neckbeard basement dweller who doesn't shower and stays inside all day. I'm starting to think it's actually the exact opposite. I think most guys who get no women are probably a lot like me. They've already worked hard and tried everything they could possibly do, but they're still not good enough for a single woman. I've built myself, cleared my skin, grown out my hair, facial hair, get regular haircuts, worked on my business, approached women, bought fragrances to smell good, everything you can think of. And I think it's exactly because of the reason that they get no attention that they do all of this. At least it is for me. Everybody always gives the same advice: go to the gym, join a hobby or club, go to events, parties, socialize. I've worked on myself and especially my physical appearance for the past 4-5 years. I've tried so hard to become as attractive as I possibly can be in every way possible. But no matter what I do, women are still uninterested. I went out of my way to cold approach many girls, probably at least around 60 in the last year, and I can only count on one hand the amount of times that it ever led anywhere. I mostly just get a number and get ignored, or told they have boyfriends, sometimes ghosted. I bet many men have a very similar story. I don't think confidence matters anymore, not when you're as ugly and short as me. I don't think they actually care about effort. I've been working hard for years. None of it ever mattered. I don't think they care about personality either, not until they're already attracted to you, which is all just physical. I don't think any woman cares about your starting point. They just care about where you finish. The problem is that if you've been a 3 your whole life and improve yourself into a 4, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be invisible. You were just born with inferior genes. Maybe I'm just bitter, but I'm starting to think it's all just genetics, mainly how hot and tall you are. And there are plenty of men who never had to do anything I tried to do and still get plenty of attention, while I get nothing, I assume, because my genetics are inferior and theirs aren't. I don't think I'll ever not be mad at this. I'm so frustrated and angry and alone, and the only reason I had to go through any of this is because of things entirely out of my control. I don't know what to do anymore. I've worked on myself so hard, and yet every time I think of how women treat me, and I start hating myself more and more. Most of my hate is just directed at my own inferiority, but I'm starting to hate women too. I'm becoming so jaded and bitter that I don't believe I'll ever be happy, even if I get a girlfriend at some point, which is never going to happen. I honestly think I would probably hate her. I would think, why did I have to do all of this to get her? And she will never truly love you. I would just think of the 20 other guys I see on a regular basis who don't self-improve and have had multiple partners, and then there's me. I used to have so much love, yet it's all turned into rage and hate from being neglected. What do I even do? I'll never be happy with myself regardless of what happens. I'm planning to get plastic surgery soon, so I can at least fix one of my biggest problems. I'll still be a midget, but at least my face will be better. Maybe experience what it's like to be loved by a woman. But even if this happens, I will never forget how angry and bitter I am now. I'll never forget how I've always been the last option despite all my effort, and how other guys get it so easily. I'm forever inferior to other men and can't do anything about it but cry. Have you faced something similar? Or do you see things differently? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear from you. And if this resonates, hit subscribe to join the conversation. Before we dive into the discussion, I'd really like to hear your opinion. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts below, and let's start a real conversation. The harsh reality behind lonely men's struggles, and why advice often misses the mark. People need to stop giving these low-effort, useless advice to lonely men. When you literally go anywhere and vent about this, 100% of the responses you get are these same things. If you're a smart man, you'll keep your emotions to yourself and wouldn't vent it out on public spaces, even online ones. I think it plays into their just world fallacy to assume that every lonely man is a fat neckbeard Discord moderator who has never seen grass before. Because they can justify you not getting women. If they believe that you are a decent person and socialize, and have a good job and good future prospects, and still having difficulty in attracting women, it completely wrecks their just world fallacy. But in reality, most lonely guys are just normal people who have been rejected by women throughout their lives. There is nothing wrong with them, and a good chunk of them are like you, who worked on themselves, and they don't even know what online terms like simp or incel means. You don't see them complaining about it much because, well, you see how people treat them when they do. The reason why you've been getting rejected and ghosted is because most women think that you're beneath them. It's sad to think about, but it's true. And of course, talking about this will get you called a misogynist and a woman hater and even incel. So there is no winning here by stating the truth. The best solution, IMO, is to forget chasing women altogether, because it's pointless anyway. Embracing solitude as the path to inner peace and self-growth. Here are my cynical 2 cents. Forget about plastic surgery. Forget about the desire to feel attractive. Embrace the loneliness. Work on yourself for yourself. I am all too aware that this is easier said than done, but the sooner you are comfortable with the idea of being alone, without a partner, the sooner you'll be on your path to serenity and free yourself from unproductive anger. Good luck. Building your own castle. Embracing independence and self-fulfillment. There's a growing number of men who are choosing to step back from chasing relationships and focus on building their own version of happiness. They've realized that not every woman is going to meet them halfway, and instead of wasting energy on one-sided connections, they're creating lives that bring them true fulfillment. I've been there myself, trying to invest in relationships where the returns were shallow, transactional, or downright fake. It's disheartening, but once you see through it, you can't unsee it. That clarity can either make you bitter or push you towards something better, something built on your own terms. The truth is, when you stop measuring your worth by who validates you romantically and start pouring that energy into your own growth, passions, and dreams, life opens up in unexpected ways. Travel, hobbies, career, personal goals. These are the things that pay back in ways no superficial relationship ever could. You create a life that's genuinely fulfilling, not one that depends on someone else's approval. So, build your own castle. Fill it with what brings you joy, purpose, and meaning. When you focus on yourself, you not only find peace, but you also attract better, more authentic connections, romantic or otherwise. If not, at least you'll have built a life you're proud of, one where you're fully in control of your happiness. Redefining success, building your own magic and owning your worth. It's true, some guys have that mysterious magic where things just click effortlessly with women. They're one of those guys, the ones who barely need to lift a finger, and women are drawn to them. But for the rest of us, that's not reality. I've tried, and I've learned I don't have whatever that is. So instead, I decided to create my own magic. Let's face it, this idea that every man will eventually find someone, get married, or be in a long-term relationship feels like a lie. The reality is, for some of us, the odds just aren't in our favor. You can strike out enough times to see the pattern and realize that fighting this endless battle is draining your time and energy, resources you'll never get back. For me, it became clear. Enough was enough. That's when I pivoted my strategy. This whole game can make us hate ourselves. Look at OP. He's beating himself up over things that, outside of the dating world, don't even matter. He could be a one-footed, cigar-smoking, sawed-off Italian guy with a thick accent, and none of that would stop him from getting a job, making money, and building a life. But the second the conversation shifts to dating, suddenly he's not good enough. That's garbage. You shouldn't let how women perceive you dictate how you value yourself. Let's not forget who we are as men. We weren't supposed to be pretty or endlessly polished. We were supposed to be workers, builders, creators. Somewhere along the line, society softened, and now everyone expects us to meet impossible standards. But that's not your fault, and it's not your problem to fix. Real success isn't about chasing validation. It's about getting in good shape, working a steady job, saving your money, and building your own castle, one brick at a time. Those bricks are solid, dependable, and they won't crumble based on someone else's opinion of you. That's where real fulfillment lies, in creating something lasting and strong, built entirely on your terms. Changing your approach. Focus on quality, not quantity. You've put in the work. 60 cold approaches in a year is no small effort. But here's the thing. You're like a fisherman training to catch tuna while casting your line in a carp pond. It's not about how hard you're trying, it's about where you're trying. You're setting a high standard for yourself, and to make that effort pay off, you need to apply those same high standards to the people you surround yourself with and the environment you're choosing to engage in. Dating apps and cold approaches are a numbers game, not a quality game. They're not going to lead you to the kind of decent, genuine people you're looking for. You need to pivot and focus your energy on spaces where meaningful connections are more likely to happen, places where shared values, interests, and mutual respect are the foundation. Forget the genetics narrative. None of that matters as much as you think it does. Don't mess up your body with surgeries or quick fixes chasing some arbitrary standard of attractiveness. The right people won't care about those things. Instead, invest your time in building a life that aligns with your goals and values, one that attracts the kind of people who appreciate you for who you are. The reality of numbers in the dating game. When you break it down, 60 isn't actually that much from a pure numbers perspective. Consider this. Roughly 60 to 70% of attractive women are already in relationships. Then, you have to account for those who might not be interested for other reasons. Some might not like guys, some might be having a bad day, or simply not in the right mindset to engage. That leaves you with maybe 10% of women who might even be open to your approach, and that's before factoring in your own level of attractiveness or compatibility. So while 60 approaches might feel like a lot, it's really just a small sampling, and you could hit those numbers over a weekend of partying in the right environment. This isn't to diminish your effort, but to show that persistence and the right setting are crucial when it comes to a numbers game. If the results aren't what you expected, it's worth reevaluating the pool you're fishing in and the strategy you're using. Finding peace by letting go of the chase. I'm going to echo what a lot of people here have already said. You've reached a point where trying so hard has made it impossible for things to happen naturally. When you're deeply insecure and unhappy with yourself, no matter how much effort you put in, that energy seeps through. Successful men work on themselves too, but they don't overthink it. It's a natural part of their lives, not something they obsess over. I'm genuinely sorry you found yourself in this place. But here's the hard truth. You need to start improving yourself for you and let go of the pursuit of women. There's a lot of peace waiting for you on the other side of that decision. Don't do it to secretly up your chances or cling to hope. It has to come from a genuine desire to move forward for your own sake. There's no shame in stepping away from the endless chase. Chasing women, especially when it becomes an all-consuming focus, is like a black hole. It sucks you in and leaves you feeling empty. Shift that energy toward building a life you love, and you might find the fulfillment you've been looking for. Stop chasing the unattainable and start finding peace in your own journey. It sounds harsh, but sometimes the harder you try, the further away the goal gets. Chasing women, especially when it's coming from a place of insecurity or frustration, will only lead to burnout. Focus on improving yourself for your own happiness, not as a means to an end. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself from the constant cycle of disappointment. Trust me, there's freedom in letting go of the chase. You can't build a happy life while constantly measuring your worth by someone else's approval. Here's the thing. The more you hinge your happiness on whether someone else validates you, the less control you have over your own life. Successful people, whether in relationships or not, focus on their passions, goals, and self-worth. When you stop making women the center of your universe, you start to see what you truly want out of life. Build your foundation first. If someone comes along, great. If not, you've already built something amazing for yourself. Chasing women is exhausting. Build a life where they come to you instead. It's not about giving up. It's about redirecting your energy. Stop trying to make something happen with people who clearly aren't interested. Instead, build a life that's so fulfilling and aligned with your values that it naturally attracts the kind of people you want to be around. If that includes women, great. If not, you're still living your best life. Remember, your happiness shouldn't depend on anyone else. The pursuit of happiness starts with letting go of the endless pursuit of others. You've done the work, but you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Self-improvement isn't a ticket to love or validation. It's about becoming the best version of yourself for you. When you focus on your passions, goals, and self-worth, you'll find peace in yourself. And that's worth far more than approval from someone who might not even appreciate the effort. Happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you build. You're exhausting yourself trying to prove your worth to people who don't even notice. The truth is, the harder you chase, the further away happiness gets. Instead of focusing outward, turn that energy inward. Build a life that makes you genuinely happy without needing anyone's validation. When you stop running after others, you'll be surprised how much more fulfilling life becomes. Focus on what you can control, your own growth and peace. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Some things are out of your control, like other people's preferences or judgments. But what is in your control is how you live your life. Focus on becoming someone you're proud of, not because it might attract someone, but because it makes you happy. Real success isn't about winning others over. It's about finding your own peace. Burnout from chasing relationships isn't worth the toll on your mental health. The more you keep pushing and trying, the more drained you'll feel. Relationships shouldn't come at the cost of your sanity. It's okay to take a step back and reevaluate. Focus on yourself, not as a way to get noticed, but as a way to regain your balance and joy. Sometimes, the best way forward is to let go of what's dragging you down. Stop trying to fit someone else's mold and start living on your own terms. You've put so much energy into trying to meet expectations that were never yours to begin with. Ask yourself, what do you actually want out of life? Forget what society, dating coaches, or anyone else tells you to do. Build the life you want, one that makes you proud, whether or not anyone else is in it. That's where true freedom lies. The problem isn't you, it's the way you're framing your worth. You've been told that you need to do X, Y, and Z to be worthy of love, but that's a lie. You're already enough as you are. The real issue is letting go of the idea that relationships define your value. Work on your passions, build a life you're excited about, and stop letting other people's opinions hold you hostage. That's the kind of success no one can take away from you. Life isn't about chasing, it's about creating. If you're spending all your time chasing things, whether it's love, success, or validation, you're forgetting the most important part, creating a life that feels right to you. Stop trying to catch what keeps slipping away and start focusing on what you can build. A strong foundation for yourself is worth far more than endless chasing. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means freeing yourself. It's not about quitting or admitting defeat. It's about reclaiming your energy and choosing a better path. Chasing women, or anyone for that matter, drains you of the time and space you could use to grow, explore, and create a fulfilling life. Letting go means giving yourself the freedom to find joy without relying on someone else's validation.